Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you on the road to Monday Night Raw. This is the Monday Night Raw 5-point preview for the big show going down tomorrow night, which, of course, is the 20th of February. This morning, I put up a video talking about Brock. This morning, I put up a video talking about Goldberg versus Kevin Owens at the Fastlane show, talking about this was the go-home Monday Night Raw, building up the match, talking about all the different outcomes that could come out, talking about the breakup of Jericho and Kevin Owens, and, did they do this a little bit too early because it leaves only a few possibilities for what could happen at Fastlane now with Jericho coming down, or maybe Brock Lesnar coming down, maybe even Samoa Joe coming to help. A lot of different options that are open, but the only thing was that I was wrong. Fastlane isn't going to be until the 5th of March, which means we are 2 weeks out. Now when I look at the Monday Night Raw 5-point preview over at WWE.com, they're not really building up that big of a show, and on the 5-point preview, they've only got 4 things, which means that tomorrow they're going to more than likely announce something big tomorrow to build up Raw. Whether that's going to be a new Hall of Fame announcement, or whether that's going to be something built up with Seth Rollins, or it could leave a few different possibilities, because the only people that are mentioned in the Monday Night Raw 5-point preview is the Big Show versus Braun Strowman match. Man, I can already hear the channels changing left and right, talking about the fact that Bayley's championship win on Monday Night Raw last week was tainted, the breakup of Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, and who is going to be able to stop Samoa Joe. So as of right now, you can already tell that Monday Night Raw is not being built up as the biggest deal. As of right now, the main event of Monday Night Raw looks like it's going to be this Big Show versus Braun Strowman match. This is a match that, honestly, they've been doing on a lot of house shows on the road to Fastlane right now, trying to get Braun Strowman to be able to work longer matches with bigger guys. I remember when they were doing the Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman matches, and the words came out that, that was a pretty good idea, because Sami's a guy that could work with Braun, work a longer style match, and then the word came back that Braun was killing Sami in no time at all, and that doesn't really help a guy work on having longer matches that people want to see. Braun can keep coming out week after week and defeating jobbers left and right, whether if it's 1 guy, 2 guys, or 4 guys, but it's pretty soon we're going to have to see Braun Strowman get in there with real talent and be able to see what is going to happen when he stands up against real guys. Big Show, honestly, is one of the best guys that they can put him in there against. Big Show in the last year has really taken a lot of time off of being on television and pay-per-view, that, it sort of helps his stock rise back up. You forget about the fact that how many times we saw this guy when he was a member of the Authority, losing matches left and right on the main events of Raws, trying to build up Roman Reigns and things like that. The word on the street, well, I guess it's not even the word on the street, because WWE.com promotes it, even though they don't promote it on television, is that WrestleMania we're going to be Shaq versus the Big Show. Braun Strowman, to me, honestly, is the guy on the outside. I'm hoping that he's going to somehow play into this Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt deal, where just basically he just says, fuck it, I'm bigger than the brand split. I'm just going to go over and help my brother on SmackDown. And if Monday Night Raw wants to send Stephanie McMahon or maybe Mick Foley to try and come and get me, I'm not coming. I'm on SmackDown now. I honestly think that's the best case scenario, because as of right now, when you look at the Monday Night Raw, or the Monday Night Raw side for WrestleMania 33, what do you do with Strowman? I mean, are you going to have him have a match against Sami Zayn? On the pre-show, he's been built up bigger than this, and it makes more sense. Big Show, he's been used sporadically. He had the match on the Tribute for the Troops. He had a match. He's done something else, but it wasn't really anything that was really that big and important. But putting him in a match like this in the Staples Center and having it being billed as the main event of Monday Night Raw, you have to have an outcome from this. I mean, I guess it's in LA. Shaq, who is in New Orleans with TNT in the All-Star game, maybe he could be traveling, maybe he'll be a part of this, but that doesn't really make sense, because I know that they'll probably portray Shaq versus Big Show as babyface versus babyface, good guy versus good guy, but Braun Strowman's a heel, and does Braun Strowman really need Shaquille O'Neal's interference to help him out? So it's a lot of big question marks. When it comes down to it, I'm guessing that you have to keep building Braun so Braun would beat him. Alright everybody, as we look at the rest of the Monday Night Raw 5-point preview, we are gearing up towards Fastlane. This is going to be setting up the WWE Women's Championship match, which is going to be Bayley versus Charlotte yet once again. They are playing off of the fact that last week on WWE Monday Night Raw, when Bayley beat Charlotte for the WWE Women's Championship, it was Interference City with Sasha Banks as well as Dana Brooke both getting involved in the match. Charlotte Flair, of course, is going to invoke her rematch clause, but as of right now on Twitter, she is currently blaming her loss on the fact that Sasha Banks factored herself into the end of the match. I know that as of right now, there's a lot of talk about Sasha Banks turning heel, so I think everybody is thinking that at Fastlane, Charlotte Flair will beat Bayley, yet once again becoming the WWE Women's Champion for, I don't know, probably the 4th time, I would think, in less than 6 months, it feels like. That first part of her reign was really, really strong, and then dropping the belt to Sasha felt special, but then getting the belt back at SummerSlam, and then giving it back at Hell in a Cell, and you know, going all back and forth, back down and around. All of that stuff just made it a reign of not really mattering, and then once again now coming up with Bayley dropping the belt, not in her first match, but the second match. It just is what it is. We're getting to the point where you can tell that, you know, more than likely, I guess Dana Brooke now is going to be involved. I don't know why it wasn't Nia Jax who got involved in the match, but it is what it is. We haven't seen Dana Brooke in a while, and I'm a Dana Brooke fan, so I'm glad to see her out there. So I'm guessing that on Monday Night Raw, we're going to see some bickering, and since, you know, Charlotte Flair does not have the Monday Night Raw advantage like she does over pay-per-view, I'm guessing we're not going to be seeing this match until the pay-per-view at Fastlane. So it is what it is. You know, they'll talk about the fact that Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are no longer friends no more. They broke up last week at the Festival of Friendship when Kevin Owens threw Chris Jericho through the glass. There's a pretty cool article on WWE.com talking about the fact that it was Shawn Michaels who threw Marty Jannetty through the plate glass window at the barbershop window. Everybody knows about that. Everybody talks about the fact that it's Chris Jericho that threw Shawn Michaels through the television on the Talk is Jericho. No, that wasn't the Talk is Jericho. It's his podcast. What was the name of that damn show he used to have? The Highlight Reel with Chris Jericho, and then now it is Chris Jericho getting thrown through the glass by Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens, anytime you see a television or a mirror or a window, you better be wondering what's going on with him. They didn't talk about the fact that he did have that on that Marty Jannetty got his rematch, not rematch, but his revenge, I guess you can say, by showing up on Raw, and he actually did throw Shawn Michaels through a mirror that was being held by Sherry, but that doesn't fit in with the story, because then Marty doesn't get the revenge of going through the window, and it breaks up the story. But hey, it is what it is. It was good stuff. I'm guessing that more than likely we're not going to be seeing Jericho, him selling the effect of this. A few different ways they could go with Owens. We're making it look like Owens is going to be going into the match alone, or maybe they could be playing off of the deal with him and Triple H backstage last week, telling Jericho to hit the bricks, maybe setting up that stable of Owens, Samoa Joe, and Triple H, going from there, because that builds into the last step of Monday Night Raw in the 5-point preview, which is who can stop Samoa Joe. In this, basically, they talk about the fact that Samoa Joe's sit-down interview where he looked like fucking Tony Soprano, the gangster of all. I don't know where they're going with Joe. It looks like they could be setting him up as a fallback plan of you know, him versus Triple H, or I don't really know what you do with Samoa Joe if there's a Triple H versus Seth Rollins match come WrestleMania. I don't really want to see him just be the guy in Kevin Owens' corner. I think that he has a lot more to give to the card than that, but then again, he hasn't been on Raw for all that long. We've seen him beat up Sami Zayn. We've seen him beat up Roman Reigns. We've seen him beat up Samoa Joe. I'm sorry, he is Samoa Joe, fucking idiot. We've seen him beat up Seth Rollins, which led to the injury, led to the problem they're in. Now, you know, Joe doesn't even have a match at Fastlane, it looks like. So really, what can they do? Maybe they'll put him in a match against Sami Zayn, but I'm not really sure where they go with that, but that is the Monday Night Raw 5-point preview, finishing out Bayley versus Charlotte, Owens versus Jericho coming soon after the Goldberg match, and then what to do with Samoa Joe if that leads to a Sami Zayn match or what it is. So we'll see. Well, like I said earlier, be looking forward to some sort of announcement. I'm guessing that Goldberg and or Brock Lesnar is going to be on the show. Definitely, I know that Brock was going to be on a lot of shows. He showed up on that house show the other day, I believe, in Houston, wrecking that 8-man tag. They had him at Raw last week, I believe, in Portland, but he just, it was at the week before, where he just did the dark show deal with Big Show. So we'll have to see what goes down. But we're coming up on that Fastlane right up around the corner. Peace out, everybody.